think the furnace has to be 30 years old.
There must be a way to keep that draft out of the front hall.
I haven't been in the attic since we packed that crib away.
Washing machines that use 60% less water. Interesting.
Energy efficiency. It means many things, but basically, it's getting the most from using the least. And as you'll find out, there are many ways that you can make energy efficient choices in your appliances, devices, and lighting. And there are many ways you can conserve energy in your home by simply changing the way you use it. Energy efficiency and conservation have become important tactics in a global strategy to protect and conserve our natural resources. But it's not just about doing your part for our environment. It's also about managing costs, improving the comfort and safety of your home, and increasing its value. By investing in your home, you could save thousands of dollars in energy costs and enjoy being in your home even more. Getting started is easier than you think. It all starts with a home energy assessment provided by your energy company. The energy assessment process will identify energy savings opportunities and outline a number of actions that you can take immediately or over time to make your home more comfortable, affordable, and efficient. You'll be given an energy roadmap for your home, which includes actions that can be planned and prioritized, leading you along the pathway towards a safer and healthier home with significant savings. Before we can figure out how much money you can save, we need to start with knowing how much you currently spend on energy for your house. So when you schedule your energy assessment, get out your electric, oil, and gas bills for last year and take a look. Okay, let's take a minute to make sure you are prepared for your energy assessment. First of all, you want to give yourself about 2 hours for the actual assessment, depending on the size and the age of your house. Second of all, it's important that you accompany your energy specialist. They are trained professionals and are full of information that you want to hear. They may have questions about your property that only you can answer, and this ensures a more efficient and valuable energy assessment. We know that pets are part of the family, but they can also get a little excited. So unfortunately, they have to be secured during the energy assessment. Sorry, buddy. Second, you'll need to make sure that you and the energy specialist can get into all the parts of the house. Some of the things he will be checking are lighting systems, looking for signs of moisture, and general safety issues. In the basement, make sure nothing is blocking access to the heating, air conditioning, or hot water systems. Same thing goes for the attic. It's important to have clear access. I've asked Mark Hutchins, a Mass Save energy specialist, to join us and explain all of the aspects of the energy assessment and how you can partner with Mass Save to manage your energy usage and costs, improve your comfort, and increase your home's value.
What we do is we take a whole house approach to your home. We look at all the different aspects of it, from insulation, air tightness, window and door efficiency, appliance efficiency. And we also look at how you use your home, whether you have children, whether you're here all day, or whether you're empty nesters. Our goal to taking a whole house approach is to come up with a set of recommendations that not only help you manage your costs, but also make this house a safer, healthier place to live and improve the value of your home.
Great. Now, one of the things I learned in my research, Mark, was to look at the energy consumption in my house as a complete system, in which you can peel away layers of that system and address issues in smaller pieces.
That's right, Dennis. Think of your house as having 3 components that affect energy usage: the thermal layer, the mechanical systems, and appliances and consumer products. The first is the thermal layer of the house: the walls, insulation, windows and doors, the tightness of the air boundary that protects insulation from air moving through it, the shell that protects you from the hot and cold New England weather. Then you have the mechanical systems that heat and cool your house and water. And finally, there are appliances, lighting and electronics, what is referred to as base load, the third component of your home's energy system. Let's start with the thermal boundary of the house first. And the best place to start would be with air sealing and insulation. You know, Dennis, there's a common misconception that windows are a good cost-effective upgrade. The fact of the matter is that one of the least cost-effective upgrades you can possibly do. A much better one would actually be starting in the attic.
Well, then to the attic we go, sir. Okay, Mark, the attic is obviously very important, so give it to me straight.
Okay, what we do in the attic, Dennis, is we assess the insulation that exists here to see how much insulation you have and how well installed it is to determine whether or not we'd want to add more insulation to it. Okay, but before we do that, what we want to do is we want to check the air sealing of the attic to see how much air is escaping from the house into the attic. And what we'll do is we'll pull back insulation and look at what they call major thermal bypasses, big openings between the house and the attic where lots of warm air can escape into this space. And we'll seal those up with foam or whatever we need to make sure that it's tight. Okay, well, one of the things we want to do, Dennis, is make sure that the insulation that is installed correctly. And the way we would do that is to guard against what we call wind washing. And what wind washing is it's when you have too much soffit ventilation and the wind blows across, and instead of coming and ventilating this attic space, it actually blows through the insulation and reduces its R value.
So Mark, all of these energy-saving maneuvers that you're teaching me about heating, do they work the same for cooling?
Yes, Dennis, that's actually the good news. All these energy upgrades for heating also work in cooling. Let me show you an example. Okay, Dennis, so one of the major parts about doing your air sealing is finding the what they call major thermal bypasses. And this is a pretty good example of one. This is where some plumbing pipe actually punches through into the attic, and instead of having a nice tight fit around it, they've cut a good size hole. You can see that air's been passing back and forth between the conditioned space and the attic by the discoloration of the insulation itself. As the air flows through it, it leaves the dirt behind, and that's what causes that discoloration. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to seal all the penetrations between the house and the attic, and we're going to do it with this foam product here, which has a very precise bead that can be laid down by this gun. And we're just going to go and lay a bead right around this entire pipe like this. And then while we're here, and this top plate is exposed, we'll go ahead and seal this crack here also, just like this.
To be honest, this is not a job for the weekend warrior. This is something we need to leave to the professionals, correct?
That's definitely correct, Dennis. This goes back to that whole house approach that we talked about earlier, where you don't want to over-tighten the house because that could affect the indoor air quality or how the heating and domestic hot water system vents. The initial audit wouldn't have what we call a blower door test, a test that tests how tight the house actually is. But if we sent an air sealing crew out here to make your house tighter, they would at that time perform the blower door test, and they would determine how tight the house was before they started air sealing and how tight the house was after they were done air sealing to make sure that the house still performed the way they wanted it to. Well, things depend on how your basement is actually used, whether it's considered conditioned space or unconditioned space, whether you spend a lot of time in it or not. One area that every basement has in common is what we call the rim and band joist area. And this area is a place that can be insulated between the inside and the outside, and also made more airtight to stop cold air from making its way into the basement and then up into the house itself. Okay, so what you can see here is that they've treated this rim and band joist already. They've put in what we call isocyanurate, and they've cut it to friction fit, and then they've actually foamed around it with this foam product here to make it airtight. And this rim and band joist has now been addressed for both conductive heat loss right through the insulation and also stopping cold air from flowing into this space. The challenge with older basements is the fact that in addition to the rim and band joist being leaky, oftentimes the walls themselves are extremely leaky. They're made out of fieldstone or block and not concrete. And this allows air to pass right through them and enter this area also.
So now that we've looked at the thermal shell of my house, let's look at the mechanical systems that condition my home and heat my water.
In this particular home, what they've done is they've replaced the existing boiler with a newer upgraded system that has a 95% AFUE. You can tell that it's a very efficient system because of the way it vents out through PVC pipe rather than through your conventional steel pipe. And what this system here does is it makes hot water here, and it supplies all the hot water radiators at 95% efficiency. But a bonus to this particular system is that it's also hooked up to the hot water tank. Another aspect of energy conservation that we'd like to address is high energy hot water use. And one of the places we can get that is by adding some pipe insulation to all these exposed hot water pipes. Second thing that we could look at would be low flow shower heads. If we reduce the amount of hot water that we actually use, that saves hot water. And the third aspect, which we already spoke about, is high efficiency systems. So just to review, we're talking about pipe insulation, low flow shower heads, and high efficiency systems. We just talked about some short-term investments. Now we're going to talk about some long-term investments like right-sizing of equipment and thermostat settings. The initial boiler in this house was a 160,000 BTU boiler, and the load on the house probably peaks out at around 60,000. So it was almost 3 times bigger than it actually needed to be. Sizing your boiler more close to the peak load in the house is a good way to save a lot of energy. This particular example here, we have what's called an outdoor reset. And what this piece of equipment does is it reads the outdoor temperature, and then it makes the water in the boiler match the load on the house, so that this system is always perfectly sized, whatever the load on the house actually is. Another aspect of the mechanical systems and the whole house approach is what we call combustion safety testing. This is making sure that if we do any energy upgrades on your house, especially air sealing, that the mechanical systems still operate safely.
That was a good overview of how you can save energy and money looking at the mechanical systems that heat and cool your house. Now let's look at ways to save with your appliances and electronics.
Dennis, we just talked about changing shower heads to low flow heads, but another great place to save money on your electric loads is also from changing light bulbs from high energy use incandescent bulbs to much lower use compact fluorescent light bulbs. Another place you'd like to go is changing your appliances from just regular appliances to Energy Star. They use much less energy than normal appliances, and Energy Star rates dehumidifiers, they rate dishwashers, refrigerators, washers and dryers. Just about anything, even computers and TVs now have an Energy Star rating on them. And you can significantly reduce your energy use by upgrading to them.
Energy Star is the standard for energy efficient consumer products. Devices carrying the Energy Star logo, such as computer products and peripherals, kitchen appliances, buildings, and other products can save an average of 20 to 30% on energy consumption. Are there other measures we can take? What's this term I keep reading about, deeper energy retrofits?
Well, sure, Dennis. If you're interested in going beyond the more common upgrades, there are some other steps you could do. You could super insulate the thermal layer of your house, installing additional insulation, along with mechanical ventilation, to achieve energy savings of 50% and more. Photovoltaic, or PV, panels are available that turn sunlight into electricity to lower your electric bills. You could also convert your domestic hot water system to solar and get virtually free hot water. Combined, these measures can put you on the path to a zero net energy home. Ask your energy specialist or see the Mass Save website for more information on deep energy retrofits. Okay, now that we've completed the energy assessment and compiled your energy bills, I'm going to put all this into my computer and print out your home energy roadmap, which outlines a complete set of the energy-saving home improvements you can make.
The program sponsors have designed incentives to reward you for completing your roadmap now. But if you can't afford to do everything now, your specialist will help you prioritize.
Mass Save will also explain if your roadmap steps will qualify for incentives, heat loan program, and federal and state tax credits. You can check all this and more at www.masssave.com.
I spent some time on the Mass Save website and I was amazed at the information it had on investment cash flow and returns, carbon footprint calculators, efficiency education, and other energy and money saving resources, including specific options for income eligible households. This is a great roadmap. I can't wait to get started. I really appreciate you coming by. Thanks a million, Mark. For more information on how you can get started saving energy and money, visit our website at masssave.com or call us at 866-527-7283. Mass Save is a public-private partnership that was created to help Massachusetts residents save money through the implementation of energy-saving measures. Mass Save services are provided by your local electric and gas utilities and energy efficiency service providers in partnership with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Funded by you through a small monthly fee on your electric and gas bill.